Calico Mine Company. My name is Eric. We're going to be sitting here with Bill Butler, and we're going to be sharing with you a little bit of story about this wonderful mine here. Have you been on the mine ride before? Yes? Yes! You're going to see it. I believe this tour is lights on, correct? Yes. Lights on, which means take as many pictures as you can. Flash bulbs and video, you go right ahead. But if I say something that sounds wrong, I'm editing your video. Sorry. Let's see how far we can get into this mine before we get trapped. Go for it. And everybody stuck in the loading zone? Well, we will see you momentarily. Wave goodbye to all of your friends and neighbors because you are the first to experience the mine with lights on. The very first scene that we're about to see is a whole lot of nothing. All of the wood in this cavern with zero lighting is meant to allow your eyes to adjust to the dim darkness of the bright and sunny Calico Square outside. We reach a room that all of you may be familiar with. You might have one at home. We call it the pot room. The sounds of bubbling, but this is in not show mode, so we're not getting any bubbling pots at the moment. The scene in here may likely get some new lighting.
That's right. Everybody remember there used to be steam in this room? Yeah. Wouldn't it be neat to bring that back? Well, that's part of Knott's Berry Farm's budget, so please encourage them to spend the money.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, sadly, the steam room hasn't been steamy enough in the past past decade. Fingers crossed, Knott's Berry Farm will put that money right back into reigniting the steam bits in this space. Every now and then you'll see a little incandescent light bulb covered by rock. It was meant to look like glowing lava underneath the craggy rocks. Instead, it kind of just looks like a light bulb underneath the rock. Old Mother Earth is pushing hard on these boards. We're going down deep into the mine. For those of you who haven't figured it out, we are on a descent. We are going all the way to the base of the mine in order to reach this here glory hole. Many a miner has come far and wide in order to stick his pick in this here glory hole. They've tapped that golden vein in order to strike it rich. I'm only saying if you're listening. And as we continue our tour from the bottom of the glory hole, we're going to start reaching to the top. The next room we see begins our cavern of water, where blind fish have not seen the light of day. But if you don't see any blind fish, don't worry, they can't see you either.
Another item, who's always looked in the water when they've asked about blind fish?
Slowly miner animation way off in the distance, but you'll notice that miner has a very neat trick. His pan actually does drip water. That wonderful little feature means that he is pushing water out from his pan as he plays it. It's a wonderful detail. These waterfalls on the inside of the mine ride connect to all of the waterfalls on the outside of the mine ride. It is one gigantic pump system that is all cycled through a very small We have reached the room of square set timbering, giving us a portion of our educational tour. If it weren't for the square set timbering style of mining, we would not have been able to reach as deep into the earth as we have in order to reach these veins of gold. The animation in here is simple and rudimentary, but it works beautifully. Many of us probably remember way back to Halloween Haunts days when these miners were doing terrible things to human heads.
I'd like to point out, on your right up here, there is a chap in a red shirt who is hammering. If you look at that from an animation standpoint, that's actually a somewhat complex piece of animation. His head stays looking at the object he's striking the whole time. Very cool proto-animatronic.
Everybody hold on tight, get to know your neighbor. We're about to hit that 25-degree lift bill. I love that smell and I love that blackety black. The smell that you're smelling is the oil that Bud Hurlbut is having a constant drip system on this lovely tank, which we only just replaced a year ago. On this ascent, we are about to hit Elvis. Heaven with the lights on. How often do you get to see this? For some people, this is the highlight of the attraction. I am a gigantic fan of that glowing waterfall and the black light. And of course, when Walt Disney worked with Bud Hurlbut asked just how many stalactites and stalagmites should they put in to make it realistic. Walt Disney said, just put them all in there. Just fill it up as many as you possibly can.
You know, there's some that are dripping water.
Yes. That's actually something that that John Wade just brought up. Some of the stalagmites and stalactites, the ones on the ceiling, were designed in 1960 to actually drip water. I don't believe that any of those stalactites drip water anymore. They would have dripped water into the pool way off in the distance. I would like to see if those are still there, however. You could actually see proof of the stalactites dripping in this room in the movie Family Builds a Mountain, way back when. Now, as I mentioned, it was Halloween Haunt that hit this attraction very badly. As much as we adore Halloween Haunt, it was Halloween Haunt designers that came in here with spray cans and just spray painted randomly, willy-nilly, in strange and random colors. It's going to be up to Knott, or you guys, I'm passing the microphone. All right, the room's going to get painted the way it should be. Yay! I love this. All right, let's get the heck out of here. We've got a lot more secrets that will be revealed later for this room and many, many more. But the fact that this is still here as it was in 1960, literally unchanged, is thrilling. And believe it or not, in the movie Family Builds a Mountain, a lot of these natural features have names. And I didn't realize that until I watched the movie.
So this is a gold mine, right? Notice that there's absolutely no gold in the entire mine. With the lights on, you can see at your left, approximately where you folks are back there and back now, some shiny pyrite on the ground. The only sign of real gold is there.
We're also passing by that lovely air-conditioned vent, which actually is a real thing that can happen in nature. This is our upper view of the glory hole. For those of you who are looking out to the train's left-hand side, you'll notice at the very top of the glory hole there's a pulley lift system for a gigantic canister of ore that is being lifted and lowered. That is one of the hardest points to reach in this entire attraction. That room, I believe there is a man up there. Is that correct? There is a man up there. It used to be two characters up in that way top hole. But it's very, very difficult to reach. There's only one ladder that can go up there. Not a staircase, but a ladder. It's basically a vertical ladder. So if there's any figures going in or out of there, best of luck to whoever has to have that job. you haven't realized it, we are making a descent. We have already reached heaven and we are being lowered all the way back to the bottom. We are riding the brake in this train as we go back down, down, down.
Another glory hole comment. Even the Knott's Dairy Farm firewall on emails blocks that word, so we started referring to it as the GH in all things, which also is the, and this is from our founder.
Is the rat working? Is the rat working? Yep.
I don't know how old that little rat is. He's been there for quite some time. And the rock crusher is working tonight as well. That's awesome. We're driving past a little static figure on our left-hand side as we make our way out on this treacherous edge. We're looking through the backside of water in order to see Calico Square. Oh, the Christmas lights over Ghost Town look fantastic, but they're going away soon. Today was the last day of Christmas for Knott Dairy Farm, and all those Christmas lights are twinkling into the dark. We're going to get the heck out of Dodge City. One last look at the glory hole over on your left-hand side. We've been circling the hole and circling the hole, and now we're just going to go for the grand explosion. We're slowing it down just before we reach the grand finale of Knott's Mine Ride, because we have a couple of characters that we're going to talk about, and I'm handing it over to Bill.
So if you look on the right side, just clicking up here, we have the first of GHP's characters in this room. I think we're going to get their spiel here in just a second. And you can see sort of what the condition they're in now, a little bit sad. So these are a couple examples of things that will be getting improved as we get started with this. And on the left as well. Notice the missing fingers on the character on the left. Authentic mining accident.
The grand finale can definitely use a little bit of love, don't you think? And with that, we disembark. We're going to be taking off and leaving you guys right here at the exit dock. You're going to circle right round back through, and we will meet you at the loading dock once again. We're going to take a next round of people through the train, and now it's your turn to wade. I promise you the jokes won't be any better when we go through the second time, that's for damn sure.
Are the restrooms open?
The restrooms, I'm sure, are open. Yes, definitely. We'll see you in a moment.